Stephen Curry hasn't touched a basketball in a month. Jimmy Butler's season ended with a sickening pop of an ACL against his former Miami team. Anthony Davis won't return until April, if at all. The Golden State Warriors, the supposed measuring stick of Western Conference excellence, are fielding a roster held together by hope and athletic tape. Meanwhile, your Los Angeles Lakers roll into Chase Center tonight as road favorites, carrying a 34-24 record that somehow has half the basketball world convinced they're fraudulent contenders. This is the moment, not Game 7 of the NBA Finals, not the trade deadline, not even the playoffs. Tonight, February 28, 2026, marks the exact point where championship narratives are either born or buried under the weight of missed opportunities and squandered advantages. The Lakers have spent 3 decades teaching us that great teams rise when circumstances align in their favor. Tonight, every single circumstance has aligned. A depleted Warriors roster missing $110 million in salary, a Chase Center crowd that won't intimidate without Curry's magic, and a Lakers team finally healthy enough to impose their will on a wounded champion. The question isn't whether they can win. It's whether they possess the killer instinct to seize this moment and everything it represents. Because here's what nobody wants to discuss. The Lakers' season has been a masterclass in surviving adversity while their supposed rivals have crumbled under lesser pressure. Phoenix traded away Kevin Durant for pieces. Denver can't figure out how to maximize Nikola Jokic without sacrificing team chemistry. Oklahoma City remains too young and inexperienced for sustained playoff excellence. The Warriors have become a medical facility disguised as a basketball team. Yet somehow, through injuries, chemistry concerns, and relentless media criticism, the Lakers have maintained their position as a legitimate championship contender. They've done this not through spectacular performances or viral highlights, but through the grinding, unsexy work of winning games they should win and stealing games they shouldn't. Tonight represents the ultimate test of that approach. The mythology surrounding the Warriors begins and ends with Stephen Curry's gravitational pull on opposing defenses and Jimmy Butler's two-way excellence. Without those foundational elements, Golden State becomes an expensive collection of role players masquerading as stars. Draymond Green, for all his basketball intelligence and defensive impact, cannot single-handedly carry a championship-caliber team at age 36 with chronic back issues. Kristaps Porzingis, when healthy enough to play, provides sporadic bursts of production that pale in comparison to his salary and expectations. The medical reports surrounding Curry's absence reveal the complexity of patellofemoral pain syndrome and its unpredictable recovery timeline. Dr. Nirav Pandya from UCSF's orthopedic department described the condition as irritation around the front of the knee that responds only to rest with no definitive treatment protocol or recovery schedule. This uncertainty has created a psychological burden for both Curry and the Warriors organization as they navigate between aggressive rehabilitation and conservative caution. Curry's injury history provides additional context for current concerns. The 37-year-old guard has missed 17 games this season across various ailments, putting him dangerously close to ineligibility for all NBA honors due to the league's 65-game minimum requirement. His previous ankle issues earlier in his career required similar extended periods of rest and recovery, suggesting a pattern of injury management that may continue to impact his availability. The financial implications of Curry's absence extend beyond immediate competitive concerns. His $55.8 million salary represents nearly 25% of the Warriors' total payroll, making his unavailability a massive investment in non-production. The organization's luxury tax obligations continue accumulating regardless of his playing status, creating additional pressure for swift resolution of his medical situation. Jimmy Butler's ACL injury carries even more devastating long-term implications for Golden State's championship aspirations. The 36-year-old forward was averaging 20.1 points, 5.6 rebounds, and 4.9 assists, while shooting 51.9% from the field before his season-ending injury. His two-way impact had transformed the Warriors from playoff hopefuls into legitimate championship contenders, making his loss exponentially more significant than his individual statistics suggest. The mechanism of Butler's injury, landing awkwardly after contact from Miami's Davion Mitchell, represents the type of freak occurrence that can derail entire organizational strategies. Butler's agent, Bernie Lee, described the injury as a gut punch that will require comprehensive rehabilitation and potentially impact his availability for the start of next season. At 36 years old, ACL recovery becomes more complex and uncertain, raising questions about his long-term effectiveness and durability. Historical data on NBA players returning from ACL injuries at advanced ages provides sobering context for Butler's situation. Players over 35 who suffer ACL tears historically show significant decline in athletic performance and overall effectiveness upon return. Butler's previous knee injuries, including a meniscus tear in 2018 and MCL sprain in 2024, compound concerns about his recovery prospects and future durability. The Warriors' trade for Butler represented a massive organizational gamble that has backfired spectacularly. They surrendered Jonathan Kuminga, a promising young forward with significant upside potential, plus additional assets to acquire a player who would provide less than half a season of production. This transaction exemplifies the risks inherent in trading youth and potential for veteran production, particularly when dealing with players approaching the end of their careers. This creates a fascinating dynamic where the Lakers, despite their well-documented flaws and inconsistencies, possess a significant talent advantage for the first time in months. Luka Doncic entering this game averaging 32.7 points per game, leading the entire NBA, while facing a Warriors defense that will likely start Brandon Podziemski and Moses Moody. LeBron James, at 39, remains more explosive and versatile than any wing player Golden State can deploy. Austin Reeves, despite his struggles against Phoenix, provides the type of shot creation and basketball IQ that championship teams require from their third option. The injury report tells the complete story of how dramatically the power balance has shifted. The Warriors list 6 players on their injury report, including their 2 highest-paid performers. The Lakers list 1 player, Rui Hachimura, with an illness, who might not even start when fully healthy. This isn't close to competitive balance. It's a mismatch disguised as a rivalry game. Yet the Lakers' recent performance against Phoenix exposes the psychological fragility that could derail their championship aspirations. Losing 113-110 to a Suns team missing Devin Booker and Dillon Brooks isn't just disappointing. It's diagnostic of a team that hasn't yet developed the mental toughness necessary for championship success. Austin Reeves' missed three-pointer at the buzzer symbolized more than a single missed shot. It represented the difference between championship-caliber execution and playoff-caliber hope. The tactical breakdown against Phoenix revealed persistent defensive vulnerabilities that championship teams cannot afford to display. The Lakers allowed 113 points to a Suns offense operating without its primary scorer and secondary creator, suggesting fundamental communication breakdowns and effort inconsistencies. Their defensive rating of 115.9 points per 100 possessions ranks 18th in the NBA, a statistic that must improve dramatically for legitimate championship consideration. J.J. Redick's defensive scheme relies heavily on switching and help rotation concepts that require consistent communication and positioning from all 5 players. The Phoenix game demonstrated what happens when that communication breaks down: easy baskets, open three-pointers, and late-game execution failures that cost winnable games. The Lakers' inability to consistently implement their defensive principles against lesser competition raises serious questions about their execution under playoff pressure. Advanced metrics provide additional insight into the Lakers' defensive inconsistencies. Their opponent effective field goal percentage of 54.2% ranks among the worst in the league, indicating poor shot contest and defensive positioning. Their defensive rebounding percentage of 72.8% suggests vulnerability on the glass that playoff teams will exploit through offensive rebounds and second-chance opportunities. The Lakers' perimeter defense has been particularly problematic, allowing opposing guards and wings to shoot 37.4% from three-point range, a number that becomes catastrophic during playoff series, where elite shooters receive increased opportunities. Their lateral quickness and defensive rotations have been inconsistent, leading to easy scoring opportunities that championship-caliber teams eliminate through discipline and preparation. Royce O'Neal hitting the game winner with 0.9 seconds remaining wasn't basketball karma or random chance. It was the inevitable result of allowing an inferior opponent to believe they could win. Championship teams don't permit those moments to exist. They build leads that cannot be overcome, maintain defensive intensity that prevents game-winning opportunities, and execute offensive possessions with precision that removes doubt from crucial moments. The coaching staff's adjustment patterns during the Phoenix game revealed concerning tendencies toward passive management rather than aggressive problem-solving. Redick's timeout usage and substitution patterns suggested reactive rather than proactive coaching, allowing Phoenix to dictate game flow and momentum rather than imposing Lakers' will through strategic adjustments. The Lakers' inability to close out the Phoenix game reveals a fundamental truth about their current construction. They possess championship-level talent without championship-level mentality. Luka Doncic can score 41 points, but if those points come within an offensive system that allows opponents to stay competitive, the individual excellence becomes irrelevant. Deandre Ayton can dominate one game with 21 points and 13 rebounds, then disappear the next game with 2 points and 4 rebounds. That inconsistency isn't about matchups or game plans. It's about professional commitment and mental preparation. Doncic's 41-point performance against Phoenix represented both the pinnacle of individual excellence and the frustration of system limitations. His shot selection and decision-making throughout the game demonstrated elite basketball IQ. Yet the Lakers' inability to build sustainable leads suggested that individual brilliance cannot compensate for collective defensive breakdowns. Doncic's usage rate of 36.2% creates offensive efficiency, but potentially limits the development of complementary players who must contribute for championship success. The statistical breakdown of Doncic's season reveals both his dominance and the challenges facing the Lakers' offensive system. His 32.7 points per game leads the NBA, but his defensive rating of 118.6 indicates significant vulnerabilities that opponents consistently exploit. His assist-to-turnover ratio of 2.89 demonstrates excellent ball security and playmaking. Yet his defensive win shares of 0.8 suggest his overall impact may be less positive than his offensive numbers indicate. Doncic's integration with LeBron James creates fascinating tactical possibilities, alongside concerning redundancies. Both players excel when controlling possessions and dictating offensive rhythm, yet their combined presence sometimes creates ball-watching situations where role players become passive observers. The coaching staff's challenge involves maximizing both players' strengths while maintaining offensive flow and defensive accountability. Advanced tracking data reveals that Doncic's presence significantly impacts team-wide defensive metrics in ways that transcend individual performance. When Doncic shares the court with defensive-minded players like Austin Reeves and Marcus Smart, the Lakers' defensive rating improves by 4.2 points per 100 possessions. However, when paired with defensively limited players, their collective defensive rating drops to levels that make championship contention mathematically unlikely. The European style of play that Doncic brings to the Lakers creates both advantages and challenges in NBA playoff basketball. His pace control and half-court execution excel against teams that prefer up-tempo basketball, yet his defensive limitations become magnified against athletic wings who can exploit his lateral movement. The Lakers' success in playoff scenarios may depend largely on their ability to hide his defensive weaknesses through scheme and personnel decisions. Historical comparisons to other elite offensive players with defensive limitations provide context for evaluating Doncic's championship potential. Players like James Harden and Russell Westbrook achieved individual excellence while struggling to lead teams to championship success, largely due to defensive vulnerabilities that became amplified during playoff series. Doncic's path to championship success requires either significant defensive improvement or system construction that minimizes his weaknesses. The buyout market represents the Lakers' most immediate opportunity to address depth concerns and rotation weaknesses. Chris Middleton's availability from Dallas creates a scenario where the Lakers could add a proven playoff performer without sacrificing significant assets. Middleton's career playoff averages of 18.2 points and 5.8 rebounds per game while shooting 40.2% from three-point range represent exactly the type of production that transforms good teams into great teams. The financial mechanics of Middleton's potential buyout reveal complex negotiations between player, team, and acquiring organization. Dallas would need to reach a buyout agreement that reduces their luxury tax obligations, while providing Middleton with freedom to choose his next destination. Middleton's remaining salary of approximately $31.8 million creates significant financial considerations for both Dallas and any potential suitor. Middleton's injury history requires careful evaluation despite his proven playoff performance. The 32-year-old forward has missed significant time over the past 3 seasons due to various ailments, including knee, wrist, and ankle issues that have limited his availability and effectiveness. His medical evaluation would become crucial for any organization considering his acquisition, particularly given the Lakers' need for durable rotation players. The strategic fit between Middleton and the Lakers system appears ideal from both offensive and defensive perspectives. His ability to space the floor and create shots for others complements the playmaking abilities of Doncic and James, while his defensive versatility allows for multiple lineup configurations. Middleton's championship experience with Milwaukee provides intangible leadership qualities that could prove valuable during high-pressure moments. But Middleton brings more than statistical production. He brings championship experience and clutch gene performance that cannot be taught or replicated. His game-winning shots in the 2021 playoff run for Milwaukee demonstrated the type of mental toughness that the Lakers currently lack in crucial moments. Adding Middleton wouldn't just improve their rotation, it would provide a psychological anchor for high-pressure situations. Dallas's motivation for potentially buying out Middleton stems from their own roster construction needs and salary cap considerations. The Mavericks acquired Middleton hoping to provide veteran leadership and playoff experience, but his fit within their system has proven problematic. His ball-dominant style conflicts with their preferred pace and spacing concepts, creating inefficiencies that limit both his production and team success. The timeline for Middleton's potential buyout depends on Dallas's evaluation of their playoff positioning and long-term strategic objectives. If the Mavericks determine that playoff success is unlikely with their current construction, they may prioritize salary relief and future flexibility over Middleton's immediate contributions. This decision could come as early as the final days before the March 1st buyout deadline. Matisse Thybulle offers a completely different value proposition as a defensive specialist, capable of neutralizing opposing teams' best perimeter scorers. His recent return from thumb and knee injuries raises legitimate questions about his current effectiveness, but his track record of disrupting elite offensive players remains unquestioned. The Lakers' defensive rating of 115.9 points per 100 possessions ranks 18th in the NBA, a number that must improve dramatically for championship contention. Ty Bulla's defensive metrics prior to injury demonstrated elite-level impact that transcended traditional statistical categories. His steal percentage of 3.2% and deflection rate of 4.1 per game ranked among the league leaders, indicating consistent ability to disrupt opposing offenses. His defensive versatility allows him to guard positions 1 to 4 effectively, providing coaching staff with multiple lineup options and matchup possibilities. The Portland Trail Blazers' decision regarding Ty Bulla's future depends largely on their evaluation of his recovery progress and their own competitive timeline. As a rebuilding organization, Portland may prioritize giving younger players developmental opportunities over retaining a veteran defensive specialist. This creates potential buyout opportunities for contending teams seeking defensive upgrades. Ty Bulla's offensive limitations are well documented, with career averages of 5.8 points per game on 42.3% shooting from the field. However, championship teams often benefit from role players who excel in specific areas, rather than demanding well-rounded production from every roster spot. The Lakers' need for perimeter defense could outweigh concerns about his offensive contributions, particularly in playoff scenarios where defense becomes paramount. Ty Bulla's ability to switch across multiple positions and force difficult shots could transform the Lakers' defensive identity. His offensive limitations are well documented, but championship teams often rely on role players who excel in specific areas rather than demanding well-rounded contributors at every position. The Warriors' championship teams featured players like Gary Payton Thext and Otto Porter Jr., whose defensive impact far exceeded their offensive contributions. The injury management aspect of Ty Bulla's potential acquisition requires careful consideration, given his recent thumb and knee issues. His medical evaluation would need to demonstrate complete recovery and minimal risk of re-injury, particularly given the Lakers' need for reliable rotation players during the playoff push. The organization's medical staff would need to thoroughly evaluate his current condition and long-term durability. Tyus Jones represents perhaps the most undervalued buyout opportunity, offering point guard depth and playmaking ability that could alleviate pressure on the primary ball handlers. Jones's career assist-to-turnover ratio of 3.41 ranks among the best in NBA history, demonstrating the type of decision-making and ball security that becomes crucial during playoff basketball. Jones's statistical profile reveals consistent production and reliability that championship teams value in role players. His career averages of 8.1 points and 4.8 assists per game, while shooting 36.8% from three-point range, provide exactly the type of steady contribution that allows star players to maximize their effectiveness. His shooting efficiency from both the field, 45.2%, and free throw line, 81.7%, demonstrates consistent skill development and professional preparation. The Dallas Mavericks' decision to release Jones reflected salary cap considerations and roster construction priorities rather than performance concerns. Jones was providing valuable contributions as their backup point guard, but their need for financial flexibility and different roster construction led to his release. This creates an opportunity for the Lakers to acquire proven production without significant competition from other contenders. Jones' championship experience includes playoff runs with Memphis, where he demonstrated ability to perform under pressure and contribute to winning basketball. His understanding of playoff intensity and execution requirements provides valuable experience that young players cannot replicate. The Lakers' current point guard depth behind their starters creates obvious opportunities for immediate contributions. The strategic impact of adding Jones extends beyond his individual contributions to the overall team chemistry and offensive flow. His ability to facilitate offense without dominating possessions could resolve some of the ball-dominant issues that arise when Doncic and James share the court. Jones provides the type of steady, reliable production that allows star players to focus on their strengths rather than compensating for roster deficiencies. Max Kleber represents another potential buyout candidate whose three-point shooting and defensive versatility could address specific Lakers needs. The German forward's career 35.8% shooting from three-point range provides floor spacing that modern championship teams require, while his 6'10 frame allows for versatile defensive assignments and rebounding contributions. Kleber's injury history and age create concerns about his immediate availability and long-term effectiveness. The 32-year-old has missed significant time over recent seasons due to various injuries, including shoulder and hamstring issues that have limited his impact. Any potential acquisition would require thorough medical evaluation and realistic expectations about his role and contributions. The financial aspects of potential buyout acquisitions create interesting strategic considerations for the Lakers' front office. Each buyout signing would impact their luxury tax obligations and roster flexibility, requiring careful evaluation of short-term benefits versus long-term financial implications. The organization's commitment to championship contention may justify increased spending, but fiscal responsibility remains important for sustainable success. The Lakers' struggles with turnovers and ball movement become magnified during high-pressure situations, particularly when LeBron James and Luka Doncic share the court. Both players excel when controlling offensive possessions, but their combined ball dominance can create stagnant stretches where role players become spectators rather than contributors. Jones's ability to facilitate offense without dominating possessions could provide the balance necessary for sustained success. Dallas's decision to release Jones reflects salary cap considerations rather than performance concerns, creating an opportunity for the Lakers to acquire proven production without significant competition from other contenders. Jones's championship experience with the Memphis Grizzlies' playoff runs provides additional value that transcends statistical contributions. The restricted free agent market for the 2026 offseason presents fascinating long-term opportunities that could reshape the Lakers' competitive window. Bennedict Mathurin's recent trade from Indiana to the Clippers elevated his profile while demonstrating his adaptability to different systems and expectations. His averages of 17.8 points per game before the trade occurred while playing significant minutes for a competitive team, suggesting his production translates to winning basketball. Mathurin's age and contract status align perfectly with the Lakers' timeline, particularly if LeBron James decides to extend his career beyond the current contract. The former lottery pick provides two-way versatility that modern championship teams require, capable of creating his own shot while defending multiple positions. His development curve suggests continued improvement, making him a potential cornerstone piece rather than simply a role player addition. The financial mechanics of restricted free agency favor teams with cap space and long-term planning, advantages the Lakers possess through careful roster construction and strategic contract management. Mathurin's current team, the Clippers, may face luxury tax concerns that limit their ability to match maximum offers, creating an opportunity for aggressive pursuit. Jalen Duren's all-star selection at age 21 represents the type of foundational talent that championship teams build around. His averages of 18.2 points and 10.6 rebounds per game demonstrate immediate impact, while his age suggests years of continued development and improvement. The Pistons' rebuilding timeline complicates any potential departure, but financial constraints and organizational direction changes could create unexpected opportunities. Duren's combination of size, athleticism, and developing skill set addresses multiple Lakers' needs simultaneously. His rim protection and rebounding provide defensive anchoring, while his mobility allows for versatile defensive schemes and offensive concepts. The Lakers' current center rotation lacks the consistent two-way impact that championship teams require, making Duren a logical target regardless of acquisition difficulty. Detroit's willingness to consider trade offers or allow free agency departure depends largely on their evaluation of Duren's long-term fit and their timeline for competitive relevance. Small market teams often face financial pressures that large market franchises can exploit, particularly when dealing with young players approaching maximum contract extensions. Walker Kessler's season-ending shoulder surgery creates obvious concerns about his immediate availability and long-term durability. However, his pre-injury performance, 14.4 points and 10.8 rebounds in just 5 games, suggests elite potential when healthy. The Jazz's willingness to let him test the market likely depends on their internal medical evaluations and confidence in his recovery timeline. Kessler's defensive impact extends beyond statistical contributions, providing rim protection and defensive communication that transforms team-wide performance. His injury history requires careful evaluation, but his age and upside justify calculated risk-taking from organizations positioned for immediate championship contention. The Lakers' medical staff and training facilities provide advantages in evaluating and managing injury-prone players, demonstrated through successful rehabilitation of numerous players throughout franchise history. Kessler's situation represents the type of calculated gamble that championship teams must consider when addressing roster deficiencies. Mark Williams carries unique significance as the player who nearly became a Laker before medical concerns rescinded the proposed trade. His current situation with Phoenix creates complicated dynamics, but his familiarity with Lakers' organizational culture and playing style could accelerate any potential integration. The failed trade from last season provides insight into both Williams' medical history and the Lakers' evaluation process. Their continued interest, despite previous concerns, suggests either improved health or modified expectations about his role and contributions. Second chances in professional sports often produce different results when circumstances change. Williams' development since the failed trade attempt demonstrates continued improvement and adaptation to NBA expectations. His production with Phoenix, while inconsistent, shows flashes of the impact that originally attracted Lakers' interest. The organizational fit remains logical based on skill set and playing style. Peyton Watson embodies the versatile wing archetype that championship teams covet, offering positional flexibility and two-way impact that becomes crucial during playoff series. Multiple reports confirm strong Lakers' interest, though Denver's championship aspirations complicate any potential acquisition. Watson's youth and contract status align with the Lakers' timeline, while providing immediate contributions to their rotation needs. His ability to guard multiple positions and contribute offensively without requiring plays designed specifically for him makes him an ideal complementary piece alongside established stars. The Nuggets' evaluation of Watson likely centers on their own championship window and financial flexibility concerns. His emergence as a reliable rotation player increases his value to both Denver and potential trade partners, creating interesting negotiation dynamics. Deandre Ayton's recent comments about his role utilization reveal frustrations that could impact his long-term future with the organization. His comparison to Clint Capella's role suggests concerns about offensive involvement and individual recognition rather than team success. These psychological factors often predict future performance and commitment levels. Ayton's statistical inconsistency, from 21 points and 13 rebounds against Orlando to 2 points against Phoenix, demonstrates the mental and emotional volatility that makes him unreliable during crucial moments. Championship teams require consistent production from their highest-paid players, particularly during playoff series where every possession matters. J.J. Redick's coaching decisions regarding Ayton's minutes and role reflect growing concerns about his impact on team performance. The willingness to reduce playing time during crucial stretches suggests acknowledgement that his presence doesn't always translate to winning basketball. This creates organizational tension that must be resolved before playoff competition begins. The former number 1 overall pick's talent remains undeniable, but talent without consistent application becomes a liability rather than an asset. Ayton's body language and effort levels during games often reflect his satisfaction with role and usage, creating a dangerous dynamic where individual concerns supersede team objectives. Championship contention requires players who elevate their performance during high-pressure situations, rather than shrinking from increased expectations. Ayton's track record suggests he falls into the latter category, making him a questionable foundation for sustained playoff success. The Anthony Davis situation looms as the most significant challenge facing the Lakers' championship aspirations this season. His reported absence until at least April represents more than a temporary setback. It's a fundamental alteration of the team's defensive identity and strategic approach. Davis's injury history, including previous Achilles concerns, stress fractures, and various foot ailments, creates legitimate concerns about his long-term durability and the organization's ability to compete at the highest level without their most impactful two-way player. The specific nature of Davis's current injury, described as foot and Achilles issues, represents exactly the type of lower body problem that can plague players throughout their careers. Medical experts familiar with similar injuries note that foot and Achilles problems often require extended recovery periods, particularly for players with Davis's size and athletic demands. The Lakers' decision to shut him down until April suggests organizational recognition that rushing his return could jeopardize both his immediate effectiveness and long-term health. Davis's defensive impact extends far beyond traditional statistical categories, transforming the Lakers' entire defensive scheme and allowing their perimeter players to be more aggressive. Without Davis anchoring the paint, the Lakers' defensive rating increases by 7.3 points per 100 possessions, indicating his irreplaceable value to their overall system. His absence forces Deandre Ayton into increased defensive responsibilities despite his inconsistent effort and positioning, while backup center Jackson Hayes lacks the experience and basketball IQ to replicate Davis's defensive communication and leadership. The offensive ramifications of Davis's absence create equally challenging adjustments for the Lakers' coaching staff and game planning. His career 32.1% three-point shooting provides necessary floor spacing for Doncic and James to operate effectively in the paint, while his post-up ability offers alternative scoring options when perimeter shots aren't falling. Advanced metrics indicate that the Lakers' offensive rating decreases by 5.8 points per 100 possessions without Davis, demonstrating his comprehensive impact on both ends of the floor. The timeline for Davis's potential return creates additional uncertainty for playoff planning and roster construction decisions. If he remains unavailable through the first round of playoffs, the Lakers would need to advance without their most complete player and defensive anchor. This scenario requires either exceptional performance from role players or strategic acquisitions through the buyout market that can partially compensate for his absence. Dr. Robert Anderson, a prominent foot and ankle specialist who has treated similar injuries, noted that rushing recovery from foot and Achilles issues often leads to re-injury and longer-term complications. The Lakers' conservative approach with Davis may reflect lessons learned from previous injury management decisions, though it creates immediate competitive disadvantages that could impact their playoff positioning and championship prospects. The financial implications of Davis's absence extend beyond his $40.6 million salary, representing significant investment in non-production. His unavailability may require additional roster moves or buyout signings that increase the organization's luxury tax obligations, creating tension between competitive needs and fiscal responsibility. The Lakers must balance short-term championship aspirations with long-term financial sustainability and roster construction. Historical analysis of championship teams succeeding without their second-best player provides limited optimism for the Lakers' situation. Most championship teams rely heavily on their top two players for sustained playoff success, particularly in the Western Conference, where competitive balance requires maximum talent deployment. The Lakers' path to championship success without Davis appears significantly more challenging than their current record suggests, requiring exceptional performance from players who have yet to demonstrate consistent excellence. The youth development situation creates additional complexity regarding players who deserve expanded opportunities based on G League performance and demonstrated improvement. Dalton Knecht, Bronny James, Adu Thero, Kobe Bufkin, and Chris Manion have shown flashes of NBA-caliber production while receiving limited chances to prove themselves at the highest level. Knecht's situation becomes particularly frustrating, given his draft position and the team's need for wing depth and three-point shooting. The 17th pick in 2024 was supposed to provide immediate contributions, yet he struggled to crack a rotation that clearly needs his skill set. This suggests either coaching preferences that favor veteran experience or behind-the-scenes concerns about his readiness. Bronny James carries the unique burden of family expectations and media attention that could complicate his development process. However, his defensive instincts and basketball IQ provide legitimate reasons for optimism beyond his surname. The organization's handling of his development will reveal their commitment to merit-based decision-making versus external pressures. The Lakers' organizational philosophy regarding young players versus veteran experience will ultimately determine their long-term competitiveness and financial flexibility. Developing young players provides cost-controlled production and potential trade assets, while relying on veterans offers immediate production but limited upside. J.J. Redick's coaching philosophy represents a significant departure from previous Lakers coaches, emphasizing analytical approach and modern NBA concepts over traditional veteran preference. His willingness to experiment with lineups and rotations suggests openness to player development, yet his playoff experience remains limited compared to championship-tested coaches. The learning curve for first-year coaches often includes crucial mistakes during high-pressure situations that can derail championship aspirations. Redick's relationship with star players creates interesting dynamics that could impact team chemistry and rotation decisions. His previous career as an NBA player provides credibility with veterans, while his analytical background appeals to younger players who grew up with advanced statistics and modern training methods. However, his ability to manage egos and make difficult decisions during playoff pressure remains untested. The development timeline for young players often conflicts with championship windows, creating tension between short-term success and long-term sustainability. Dalton Knecht's situation exemplifies this challenge, as his potential contributions could help the current roster, while his development requires patience and consistent opportunities that may not be available during championship pursuit. Knecht's shooting ability and basketball IQ suggest NBA readiness that transcends typical rookie development patterns. His 39.7% three-point shooting in G League play demonstrates consistency that the Lakers desperately need from their rotation players. His defensive limitations require coaching attention and systematic improvement, but his offensive upside justifies increased playing time and development investment. Bronny James faces unique challenges that extend beyond normal player development concerns. His family connection creates media attention and pressure that most second-round picks never experience, while his actual basketball development requires objective evaluation divorced from external narratives. His defensive instincts and court vision suggest potential NBA contributions, though his offensive game requires significant refinement. The G League assignment strategy for young players provides developmental opportunities while maintaining roster flexibility for the main team. Ado Thiero's recent performances with South Bay demonstrate improvement and adaptation to professional basketball, suggesting potential call-up consideration if roster needs arise. His athleticism and defensive versatility align with modern NBA requirements. Kobe Bufkin's situation remains complex due to previous injury concerns and limited NBA opportunities. His scoring ability and ball handling skills provide potential backup point guard options, though his defensive consistency requires improvement for meaningful rotation minutes. The Lakers' evaluation process must weigh his upside against proven veteran alternatives. Chris Manion represents the type of developmental project that successful organizations identify and cultivate through patient coaching and systematic improvement. His size and shooting potential align with modern center requirements, though his physical development and basketball fundamentals need extensive work before NBA consideration. Player development infrastructure at the Lakers includes state-of-the-art training facilities and experienced coaching staff that have successfully developed numerous players throughout franchise history. Their track record with players like Jordan Clarkson, Julius Randle, and Brandon Ingram demonstrates organizational capability to identify and develop talent when provided adequate time and resources. The integration of sports science and analytics into player development creates advantages that transcend traditional coaching methods. The Lakers' investment in technology and data analysis provides insights into player improvement patterns and optimal development strategies that can accelerate young player growth while preventing injury and overuse. Reddick's communication style and teaching methods must adapt to different learning preferences among young players, requiring flexibility and patience that championship pressure often eliminates. His ability to maintain development focus while pursuing immediate success will determine both short-term championship prospects and long-term organizational sustainability. External perspectives from former players provide valuable context for evaluating the Lakers' current situation and future prospects. Jeff Teague's continued optimism about their playoff potential reflects experience with championship-level basketball and understanding of what separates contending teams from pretenders. Teague's belief in their dark horse potential suggests he recognizes talent and depth that casual observers might overlook. His championship experience with various franchises provides credibility that transcends simple analysis or speculation. Byron Scott's more pessimistic assessment carries equal weight based on his understanding of Lakers' organizational culture and championship standards. His concerns about defensive limitations and depth issues reflect someone who has experienced both success and failure at the highest levels of professional basketball. The contrast between optimistic and pessimistic evaluations likely reflects different priorities and evaluation criteria. Teague may focus on talent and upside potential, while Scott emphasizes execution and proven performance under pressure. Both perspectives offer valuable insights for comprehensive evaluation. The broader Western Conference landscape continues evolving in ways that could benefit Lakers' positioning during the playoff push. Memphis and Portland have clearly prioritized lottery positioning over competitive success, while established contenders face their own chemistry and injury concerns. Historical analysis of Lakers' championship teams reveals a consistent pattern of overcoming adversity and